Hey guys, it's Chris from Dream Autos here. Finally getting started on some of these shorter videos for the maintenance stuff. Kind of teach you along the way what to do and know what intervals you should be doing things at. We're going to start out real basic with this one here. We're just going to talk a couple filters, a couple regular maintenance items, right? So just to start out, there are things that are kind of consumables for your vehicle. They're not going to wear out at a certain interval. They're not going to wear out. They just kind of, you use them, they wear, you replace them, you fix it, be done with it. Things like that are wipers, tires, air filters, your oil change, which, 90% of most people out there know you need an oil change. You got to change your oil. There's different levels to each actual product and service that can be achieved that you can pay for. Depends on what your pocket can afford, depends on what your manufacturer recommends. If you come to a shop like us that makes sure they do the right thing by you and your vehicle, you never want to use anything just to kind of get by if that's the only thing you can constantly do. If you're in a pinch, I get it, but you got to think long term here. You got to understand the cost savings up front will not be how it plays out later on down the road. It will cost you in the long run. It will hurt performance. It will hurt longevity. It will hurt your pocket. Motors today, for things like oil changes, if you're not keeping up on them and not using at least some type of a quality product, they can run on the low end between $3,000 to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on some of these higher end luxury vehicles, BMWs, Mercedes, stuff like that. And even more, think about that. For a used motor to be put in your vehicle, imagine if you got a bill for $5,000 to $15,000. So keep that in mind. Keep those oil changes coming every 3,000 miles if it's a basic conventional oil change. If your vehicle specifies a full synthetic or a synthetic blend, make sure that's what you're giving it. The synthetic blend, if it's a good product, is going to give you coverage up to about 5,000 miles. If it's a full synthetic, you're going to get close to 10,000 miles depending on the product. Some of them I don't suggest going as far as that, but sometimes those service interval lights on your car are pre-programmed from the manufacturer because they're intending you to use what they use and what they put in it. So if it's set for a 10,000 mile interval and you're doing a conventional oil change for $17.99, $15.99, guess what? You're going way far beyond the capabilities of that oil and what it's designed to do, and you're going off of what the interval is for the manufacturer, where they're intending that you maintain the vehicle the way it's properly supposed to be, the way they engineered it. 2, wipers come and go. Rain season's here right now. They're gonna wipe back and forth. It's friction. You're moving apart. It's rubbing. It's clearing. The sun beats down on it. It dries out the rubber. You got rolled salt. We're finishing up with that right now in the season. The spring started, but there's still remnants of it. It's still kicking up. You're getting all that dirt and debris during the rainstorms and everything from the tractor trailers and all that stuff. Eventually, they wear. They tear on the ends. This is not only a safety issue for you, but also other people. If you can't clear your windshield efficiently or effectively, it's going to create a problem with visibility. It's a safety issue. We look for things like that for the New York State inspection as well. So just keep that in mind. Every, 2-3 gas fill-ups or every time it's in for an oil change, your technicians typically check them, let you know if, they need replacing or whatnot. So just follow it. If you don't believe it, just double check and go see for yourself. You were asked to see the blade. Shouldn't be a problem. If anybody's transparent and just doing the right thing and not just trying to scam you, they'll show it to you. I would, as kind of a rule of thumb, say, hey, can I go see it? So that you can actually see it on the vehicle, or you can watch them take it off your vehicle and look at it. Because there are some shady practices out there, but that's not what this video is about. 3, air filters. Kind of depends on road conditions, what your driving habits are like, and what other, situations you encounter going down the road. Like I said, snowy, wintry months, you got the road salt, you got all that stuff kicking up or whatnot, and if you live in a, farm town, or if you live in a rural area where there's dirt roads and there's just accumulations all over the place from people doing yard work or, cobblestone roads, all this stuff, and it's always constantly kicking up. Your air filter's there to prevent any of that contamination, any of that dirt, debris, that grit from getting inside your motor, which can score the internals and cause different issues, whether it's with compression, cause gasket issues, cause, fuel consumption issues, and premature wear on things. So it's highly needed to make sure you keep up on this thing. typically, I would say if it's a dusty road, if you live in conditions that are very dusty and sandy or whatnot, check it every like 8 to 15,000 miles, give or take. So again, depending on your oil, every 2 oil changes or so, double check it, make sure it needs it. Your technician should be doing this if they're doing the right thing and double checking and have the concern of you as well as the health and longevity of your vehicle in mind. Just to see how bad it is. Sometimes you can catch it early enough where you can clean it out a little bit. You don't want to use too much abrasion or anything like that. You kind of pat it out, kind of blow it out with some compressed air. If you got bigger debris, those tree needles fall in or anything like that, nuts. A lot of little mammals that run around on this earth like to burrow and make dens in them. So you're going to find dirt, debris, you're going to find leaves, you're going to find twigs, you're going to find all this stuff, acorns, nuts. So you got to keep up on that and double check that. Now, if you don't, let's say every 20,000 miles, 20 to 30,000 miles, give or take, to check your air filter. Get the most out of your money that you can for the product that's in there. But always, you get what you pay for. There is probably a $9.99 filter, but there's also a probably $40 or $50 filter. I'm not saying always go top of the line. I like the middle of the road just because it's a good balance between affordability in the immediate and longevity and the efficiency that it does its job in. So just keep that in mind. That's something that I kind of stick to as a rule of thumb. And yeah, keep it in mind. Remember, service is very important. I'm going to have a few more videos coming up to teach you about transmission fluids, to teach you about your brake fluids, to teach you about the suspension and components that go on, service intervals for stuff like that, service intervals for things like timing belts. It's going to start to get in depth. I'm going to use a stepping, climbing ladder kind of function to it to kind of get you along the way. I'm going to try to put some pictures up as well to help as visual aids for you so that you can kind of correlate some of the way things look to us and what we're looking for and things like that, so you can see what's a good and a bad or what's getting there, so that you can understand, serpentine belts, AC refrigerant, the list goes on and on. There's tons of things. Brake pads, your tires. Everybody knows tires. We're going to get just tires on its own, just to kind of reiterate some stuff for you. So this is Chris from Dream Autos. I hope you find this helpful, and we'll be back with some more useful information for you. Thanks.